What's up guys, Mickle here. I'm back, and in this video, we're gonna go over some very exciting news that's happened over the last couple days involving Flare, XRP, and the Bitcoin ETFs. Guys, since the Bitcoin ETFs, we have actually seen a sell-off in the cryptocurrency market. In this video, I want to show you exactly why this is a short-term sell-off, and we are looking at an explosion in the cryptocurrency market over the next couple years. Guys, I also want to show you some very exciting news involving Flare and XRP towards the end of the video. Guys, the Flare announcement is absolutely massive, so make sure to stick around to the end of the video to see that. Like always, guys, your support means so much to this channel. If you enjoyed these videos, make sure to take a quick second to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's really going to mean so much. Also, if you ever need a place to buy some XRP or the Flare token, make sure to check out my favorite exchange, Uphold, down in the description of this video. With that said, though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, I thought I'd start with the Flare news real quick, and remember, if you want a good place to buy some Flare, make sure to use the link for Uphold down in the description of this video, and that's that Google Cloud actually just became a data provider and an infrastructure provider as an FTO validator on the Flare network. Now guys, this is extremely exciting because obviously anytime Google Cloud gets involved in any blockchain project, you know the heavyweight traditional financial system is likely behind that project. Now guys, this is very exciting because obviously Google Cloud is a behemoth in the tech industry, and them putting their brand behind a blockchain like Flare, I think signals that they see some very interesting potential behind the Flare network. Now guys, what Flare is doing really is revolutionary in the blockchain space. I haven't seen a single other blockchain doing anything like what the Flare network's doing, and that's why it's one of my favorite projects outside of XRP. It's really differentiated, it's doing something very unique, and I think that's likely why Google is getting involved here. Now guys, Google is just providing infrastructure at this point. This is what we know, but it's super nice to see someone like Google providing infrastructure, because what we know is Google pretty much has unlimited money, so if they're providing infrastructure for the Flare network, that's likely a very, very good sign. I just wanted to share this with you guys because this is something that's likely going to go very, very under the radar, but I think it's a massive confirmation sign for what the Flare network is building and how the big money, how the big tech companies are really looking at this new age technology. I also think it's confirmation showing, guys, it's not just us retail holders that see this transformational technology. It's not just us crypto enthusiasts. It's the biggest companies on earth who want to start getting involved in these things, want to start building in these networks because they understand how significant they're going to be in the future. And guys, just a quick note after making this video, this news is not going under the radar at all. Flare is pumping hard, so if you want some Flare, make sure to go through the link in the description of this video with Uphold. Guys, I want to move on now and actually talk about the Bitcoin ETFs because I think there's some confusion on what's really going on in the Bitcoin ETFs right now, and I just want to break that down for you. So obviously, we saw a massive run up in the price of Bitcoin and the price of many cryptocurrencies into the Bitcoin spot ETFs. And a lot of what we saw was happening was, one, people were getting ready for essentially massive amounts of money to flow into this industry, which we are seeing in real time. Since the launch of the Bitcoin spot ETFs, we have actually seen over 17,000 Bitcoin removed from the spot market. Guys, this is a massive, massive inflow of Bitcoin and is going to cause a huge impact on the price of Bitcoin. But one thing we also saw was traders trying to front run the event. The traders knew essentially that there was going to be a lot of hype in Bitcoin at the time of the release of the Bitcoin spot ETF. So they essentially pumped the price of Bitcoin over the demand of the spot market, and now those traders are selling off their profits. Now guys, that doesn't mean that the sell-off we're in is going to last. In fact, I don't think it's going to last at all. I think the rate at which Bitcoin is coming off the spot market is going to start to have a massive impact on the price of Bitcoin, and the traders, their event is over, right? Their event for, a catalyst happening, then be able to trade around it, that event is over, and now it's time for the institutions buying up the Bitcoin to actually have a significant impact on the price. What we're actually seeing, and this was reported on by Chad Steinberger, is that we're actually watching Bitcoin evaporated off the OTC market. A lot of Bitcoin was held on the OTC market, so essentially these institutions could accumulate Bitcoin without increasing the price of Bitcoin. Essentially, the OTC market is just a way for institutions to buy Bitcoin, not on an exchange, in a way that doesn't impact the price, so they can buy large amounts of Bitcoin without actually pumping their own bags, because if they pump their own bags, they need to keep buying more and more expensive Bitcoin. But what we are seeing is over 690 Bitcoin were drained from OTC trading this morning alone. And guys, there's only 600 Bitcoin left. what we're seeing is these institutions are chewing up a massive amount of Bitcoin, just as we thought. And I think a lot of people are watching what traders have done to the price recently and thinking that is an indication that these Bitcoin spot ETFs were a failure. Guys, let me tell you, 17,000 Bitcoin being evaporated in a single day of the Bitcoin launch. Guys, that tells me that there is massive amounts of money coming into this product. And guys, it is not going to stop at Bitcoin. It is going to go to the rest of the cryptocurrencies. But this is a great sign that there's a high degree of interest in these products. The institutions are here and they are going to be accumulating Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies at an extremely fast rate. Guys, for the first time in history, we have institutions on our side pumping our bags, incentivized to sell their customers cryptocurrencies that we already own. Guys, we were off to a great start. Don't get washed out by the short-term price action. The other thing we have seen, guys, is that the launch of the gold ETF, we essentially saw the same exact phenomenon. It's a little hard to see on this chart, but if you take a look at this green line right here, you can see that this was the date the gold ETFs were actually launched. And immediately after the gold ETFs launched, we had a quick 1 to 2 month sell-off. Now, guys, this was not indicative of what was going to happen over the long term. Over the long term, the ETFs caused massive amounts of institutional money to flow into the asset class, and gold went parabolic. But essentially in the short term, right, traders took advantage of the event. They pumped up the price in the short term, crashed it back down, took advantage of the volatility, took advantage of the weak hands. And essentially right at that time, the demand from the ETF was not able to outweigh the traders. But over the long term, ETFs provide a vehicle to get new investors into this asset class and pump up the price. Guys, I am very confident we are going to see the same thing with the Bitcoin ETF, and everything we're watching right now in terms of the downside volatility is just traders doing their thing. It's also important to know that there's a lot of people also moving around their Bitcoin now, moving to different products. I know a lot of people were exiting the BTC product because it had higher fees and moving into other products. So guys, there's a lot of moving around right now, but the one thing we need to come back to is that Bitcoin is being taken out of the circulating supply at an extremely fast rate, and this is going to do massive things for Bitcoin over the long run. Don't zoom in too far. Understand what we have right around the corner and understand that right now institutions are getting into a market that we beat them to. Now, guys, I want to finish this video off and just show you some very interesting XRP clips that I saw over the past couple days that I think really show you that, guys, these institutions are not stopping at just buying Bitcoin or just buying XRP. Guys, these institutions understand that this asset class is transformational to the financial system. It's a next generation financial system. And I say this all the time on this channel, but I just want you to listen to them say it because I think it's going to make it all the more obvious to you that this is not some made up narrative. This is not something that I'm just saying, not something that I'm just pushing on this channel, but this is something the institutions are directly saying. Guys, it starts with them buying these ETFs, creating these ETFs, buying and holding these assets. But this asset class is so much more than just buying and holding. It is a transformation to our financial system. That's why Google is setting up infrastructure. They're not creating a Flare ETF or they're not buying a Bitcoin ETF. Guys, they are setting up infrastructure because they know the underlying technology is going to change the way the financial system works. I want you to listen to this CNBC clip, and then I want to show you a clip of the head of digital assets at BlackRock because, guys, you are going to fully understand that once these institutions are ready and able to fully step into this marketplace, it's not going to stop at the ETFs. This is a transformation of the financial system as we know it. Listen up to this.
No, I would agree because we haven't yet made the jump where there is institutional buy-in. And I like to use the example, if the Bank of Mitsubishi in Tokyo needs to transfer $100 million worth of yen to the New York branch and convert it to dollars, you need $100 million worth of yen in Tokyo and $100 million worth of dollars in New York. You're tying up $200 million in capital. If you can attach that to a coin, it's simultaneously so the bank frees up half the capital. That's a big deal. But we haven't made that jump yet.
Yeah, but it looks like it's coming, doesn't it?
I think so.
Almost sounds like he's talking exactly about XRP right there. Looks like it's coming. I agree. I want to finish this clip off with the head of digital assets at BlackRock talking about Now, guys, these coins are not just going to be used for putting in an ETF, buying and holding. While I think that is massive for the price, guys, it is so much more than that. And just remember, this guy right here is a former Ripple member. He now works at BlackRock as the head of their digital assets. Do you think a guy like this is going to want to create an XRP ETF? Do you think a guy like this is going to want to create tokenization on the XRP ledger for BlackRock's products? Guys, to me, it's fairly obvious, but listen up to this because I think you're going to understand that the XRP ledger, right, is miles ahead of everything else. It had the first decentralized exchange. It has automated market makers coming. It has tokenization, and it has 13 years of being fast and efficient. Listen up to this.
Most people recognize that out of all the developments in the blockchain, most people recognize that out of all the developments in the blockchain and digital assets ecosystem, DeFi is potentially the most transformative, right? It's also, in some ways, the furthest afield from being able to kind of have widespread adoption, but unlike, in the early days, permission blockchain use case here or crypto here, there's not one institution in finance who doesn't have some path to being disrupted by DeFi, right? So everything else has been a mix of kind of opportunities and maybe threats. DeFi forces everyone to say, what does this mean for us if this actually happens? So everybody's paying attention. You're just not at the point yet where you've got kind of banks and asset managers. The
head of digital assets at BlackRock is literally telling you that this technology is going to change the financial system. Guys, BlackRock knows it. Google knows it. The institutions are here. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want a place to buy Flare, make sure to go through Uphold using the link in the description of this video. And for now, Mickle out.